Hello, this is Dylan Chang with assignment 1. Alright, so this is the first question with the star looking thing. If I run this, it's got the filled in star, it's all good. Got the corners touching the edge of the window. If I go to wireframe, it's looking like this. None of the triangles are overlapping, it's all good. Here's just the vertices, and then the indices, and changing everything, all fine. So that's question 1. Question 2, over here. So question 2, this is the wireframe. Looks exactly like it should be. There's solid. That, looking good. Wireframe, okay. And so here's the code. I just set the array to numberts size, which is defined in the header. I have a iterator, and I keep the angle so that when I set it equal, I change the angle so that it is equidistant from each of the vertices are equidistant from each other, and then I just iterate through in that while loop, and then change that to numberts, so it's all good. Here I do indices, numberts -2 times 3, which is the math to give the number of triangles based on the verts. This for loop just goes through and sets all the indices for each triangle. This one because it's always going to equal 0. This one because it's going to be the next one over, and then this one is going to be 2 over from before. And then setting the buffer sizes correctly with the same thing of how we determined triangles. Yeah. And so if I change the number of verts to, say, 60, and it works. It's all nice and circle. Alright, so the further work questions. Okay, let me open one try. I already have it open. Okay. So changing z value to 1 will produce the same one. It makes sense. Where am I going? Where is it? Okay. So changing this to 1 gets the same triangle. Changing it to 2 will cut it off. Well, that's what's happening. So that's what's happening because it's kind of like the camera. It's cutting into the camera, so it's like culling. So it's cutting off that portion of the triangle because this vertex is raised up, kind of. If we were looking at it top down, it's raised up, and so the camera's cutting it off. And the bottom right will also do that. If we do that, so it's just a small triangle. So these two vertices are raised up on the z value, and so it's cutting off here, and then it's cutting off here because those two are raised, and it's kind of like if this was like a 3D kind of thing, it would be sloping down. And if you actually turn off the depth clip enable to false, it'll just be a normal triangle. Should be. Yeah, so it'll just be a normal triangle. So that's what's happening. It's just kind of clipping through the theoretical camera, and it's culling itself. What's the next question? So the that just changes like the viewport, like view, and so what I thought of would be to be like in like a racing game if we had like two viewports and one of the viewports was for like a mirror, car mirror. So you could make the one of the viewports smaller and have it like just on top of the other viewport. Um, but the mirror viewport is like cut off um, from the normal one, kind of. So it's like it can be used for like a picture-in-picture kind of thing, uh, kind of is what I think that could be used for. Because it just changes one of the viewport, and it can be used to like shift resolution or whatever. The third question is kind of beyond me a little bit, but I think these two formats are like kind of generic formats for well, unorm means according to this, unorm means a normalized integer, unsigned normalized integer. Where is it? Right here. And then a uint is an unsigned just integer. And what I think that means is like DirectX just uses those formats as kind of generic things so that it could be used with multiple languages, I think. I'm not sure. And essent is a signed integer. So, yeah, the numbers represent the bits that it uses on each channel, and I'm not exactly sure why we use them in the code, to be honest. But yeah, yeah, it's working.